everyone, this is Rosa Kelly. So I am here today with a new mini album that I made as my submission for the 2019 Brand Ambassador audition for Graphic 45. So this time I am using this beautiful Little Women collection, which is one of my favorites. I bought it as soon as it came out and I am happy that I finally got to use it. So this album measures 8 by 6 3/4 on the outside. It has 4 signature pages, and if you stay tuned until the end, I will show you how to make this album. So on the front cover here, I am using the die cut from Graphic 45 as well, and this little image is from the cover of the 8 by 8 collection. I did use the 8 by 8 and the 12 by 12 and the journaling tags, but I do have quite a lot of leftovers, so I can definitely make another project. So on the front cover I have different flowers, this cute little butterfly, and I wanted to do a little feature here. So then this opens up like that, so we can add a dedication to who the album goes to, or you can add pictures on the front cover, take advantage of that space. And then we have the other opening page as well. So since I like to layer the different types of paper here, and I usually want to give a volume with chipboard, this time I decided to, instead of use chipboard for volume, just create these 2 opening flaps on the front cover. So I think it's really fun, and then it also gives you more areas for pictures. The spine measures 3.5, and I just put this beautiful black trim that I had on my stash, and this is the back, which is one of my favorite designs as well. And then I'm using this ribbon as my closure. So let me show you the inside of the album. So on the inside, front and back covers, I didn't do anything. I just wanted to display my favorite papers here, and I just love the collage of the design, so I didn't want to put anything on that. I did use some of the 4x6 and 4x3 journaling cards, like I said. So over here I think it will be a perfect place to add a dedication where the album is going, like who's it for, or the date, or something like that. So this closes up like that. Very simple design on the page layouts, so you guys can definitely try for yourself. Each signature has an insert, of course, and all I did here was round the corners and added this little pull tab using a paper punch and some of my scrap pieces of paper. On the next page, I created this little waterfall, so this opens up like so. And then I'm using the sticker sheet to create some places just to make it a little bit fun. Now here, since we're gonna put pictures, I wanted to keep this black. We'll put the picture there, and then we can put the picture behind all these little sticker stamps from the collection. So quite a lot of room for pictures on both sides of the waterfall. And then on the back, I just made a little pocket and added some of the 4x3 journaling cards. And look how pretty they are on both sides. So that goes right in here like so. And this closes up with a magnet, and then the back of the waterfall is a belly band. So again, I'm just using some of the journaling tags. Now I didn't want to back this on cardstock because it's just beautiful on both sides, so that goes in right there. On this page, I'm using again another one of the journaling cards to create a little bit of a belly band to add more places to journal in the album. And then this opens up like so and like so. So over here I'm using the stickers from the collection. I just backed them on some cardstock to make them into little tag spots, and then of course we can add pictures on every page. So this closes up like that, and then here is the insert for that page. Love this design as well. Okay, so now let me place this back in here. And the next page. So this collection is so beautiful. As you can see, you don't need to embellish anything other than just the paper itself. So over here I am using again some of the 4x6 tags, and this is from the sticker from the collection, and more of the journaling tags. So very, very beautiful. I love this one here. And then I'm just using some black cardstock to create a little bit of a photo area there. On the next page, I did use one of the 4x6 to create a little booklet. And basically because I wanted this to hold these flaps down, so I wanted to give it a little bit more stability. That's why I did back this one on cardstock. I'm using one of the stickers here, and this opens up like that, and like so, and like this, and like this. So here in the center you can add a picture, but then it also, you can add some photo mats and then just hold them with your flaps. So lots of areas to put pictures in this album. And so then this just simply holds everything together. And here is the next page insert, and these are the next two. So over here I just created a little accordion fold. I just basically folded, this is from one of the 12x12 sheets. So instead of cutting it, I just folded it like so to take advantage of the both sides of the paper. Now this I personally wouldn't cover it with pictures, but on the back definitely you can do that. So let me just tie this really quick. Okay, so then this opens up like that to just provide a little bit more room for pictures. This next page was made using envelopes, and then this is from the 8x8. I just fuzzy cut around the image. So then this opens up like so, and it opens down as well. And like I said, these are envelopes, so inside each of the envelopes there is another one of those 4x6 journaling cards. So let me see if I can get this one out. Oh, it's right here. So pretty. I just love this collection, and as you guys know, I have 3 little girls, so I'll be filling this album with their pictures. So to clip this close, we just simply slide this under the image. And here is the next pull-out insert. And here's the last page. Simply here I just created a pocket. Like I said, I wanted to use all of these 4x6 photo mats. There's quite a lot of beautiful images on this collection, and I wanted to create a lot of pockets to use them. And then I just, you know, make these photo mats using some of my scrap pieces and stickers from the collection. This little 4x3 card opens up like so, and I just embellish with the sticker from the sticker sheet. Closes down with the magnet, and the back cover, again, I'm just displaying the beautiful paper here, so we can probably put a small little picture or just leave it like so. So if you guys want to know how I make this, please stay tuned for the tutorial, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, so let's get started with the tutorial. For this mini album, I'm going to be using some heavyweight black cardstock. I'm gonna be using some chipboard, and I'll be using this graphic 45 square tag and clock metal. As you know, I'm using the Little Women collection by Graphic 45, and I'm gonna be using the 12x12 as well as ones over here. So for these ones, you get 4x6 and 3x4 cards. Okay, so let's get started. Start with the cover. I'm going to use 2 of my favorite designs here for my cover. So I'm gonna use these 2, and I'm gonna cut these at 10 inches, and I'm just gonna wrap the cover on the paper straight because this paper is really strong, so I don't really need to use an extra layer of cardstock for this. So I'm just gonna join these two together, and I'm gonna do that on the blue side because I want the black side with the flowers to be on the outside of the album. So let me just get this out here. So I'm just using some 1/2 inch double-sided tape to join these two together, just like that. And now I'm going to grab 3 pieces of chipboard. Now my chipboard measures 8 by 6 3/4, so you need 2 of those, and this one measures 8 by 3 1/2. So now I'm going to just put some double-sided tape all over the chipboard. So as you can see, I added my double-sided tape to all the chipboard. So now I'm just going to peel off, and I'm going to start with the spine and this tape. So make sure that you put your spine right on the connection of these two, right on the center, just like this. Okay, now we're gonna press this down, and now we are going to take off the tape from the covers. So let's go ahead and place this down. So you want about 1/8 inch separation, just like that. And if you don't know how much room you need to leave, you can always put 2 pieces of your chipboard together and then just try to fit them in there, and that's about how much you need. So now I'm gonna go ahead and place this other one on this side. Okay, so now I have my chipboard, and what you want to do is just trim the side just a little bit. You only need about 1 inch from the edge of your chipboard. So now all I'm going to do is just bend the cardstock like this. So you want to bend it before you add your tape or anything, just to give it the shape that you want. Okay, so we're just gonna slowly bend, and you will see that these cardstock bends really smoothly and it's not going to crack. So I really love how it feels. So I'm just gonna press hard here, make sure it's nice and flat on all the sides. And once you have all the sides where you want them, then we're gonna go ahead and just trim the little pieces of the corner. So now all I'm gonna do is add my tape on all 4 sides. So this side was a little bit larger, so I just added 2 strips of the tape. So now all we're gonna do is remove the tape and just glue this down like that. Okay, so now I have my 4 sides glued in, and I'm just going to mark this gap so it's easier to bend, just like that. And now we have the outside cover of our album. Okay, so for the hinge, I'm going to cut a piece of cardstock at 7 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to use my scoreboard right here, and I'm going to score at 1 1/2. Okay, and then I'm going to score every 3/4 inch, which is going to be 2 3/4. I'm sorry, 2 1/4, 3, 3 3/4, 4 1/2, 5 1/4, 6, 6 3/4, 6 3/4, 7 1/2, and then 8 1/4, and 9 3/4. Okay, so then we have these first 2 will be our hinge, then we have a space, then we have the next 2 is our second hinge, our space, then the next 2 is our third hinge, our space, and then we have the last 2 is our 4th hinge, and then we have this other space that will connect to our covers. Okay, so we're gonna start by joining together the first 2.5 inches like this, and then we're gonna skip the next and do the next 2 like so. Then we're gonna skip and do the next 2 and skip and do the next 2. So as you can see, we have these 4 little heels, and then we're gonna turn this around, and we are going to use some double-sided tape on each one of the heels. So we're just gonna do it on one side like this. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the first one, then I'm gonna take off the tape and join the first one together. And now I'm gonna press this down. So now I have my 4 hinges. If we can see, it's hard to see on the black cardstock, but there they are. Now on the back of these, we are going to add tape throughout. Okay, so now I have my tape all on the back, and before I add this into my album, I'm going to add some double-sided tape on this side as well. Now we're gonna add it on each one of the hinges, and you want to add it closest to the outside edge. Okay, and we're gonna do it on both sides just like this. So I'm gonna do the same to all of them. Now we have our hinge ready to go into our album. So now I'm just gonna open this up, and we are going to make sure we place this on the center. So you want your hinges right on the center of your spine, just like that. So I'm going to peel off the tape on the back. Okay, so I peel off all of my tape, and make sure that your hinges are perpendicular to the base. That way you can see exactly where your center is. Okay, so I think it's right around here, just like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put mine down. Now if you are a beginner crafter making mini albums, then you can always use glue for that step, and that way you have a little bit more time to adjust. Okay, so I'm going to grab my ruler, or actually just another piece of chipboard that I have here, and you're gonna find where your page bends. You will feel that little indent here that we score, and we're just gonna grab a straight edge. I'm just using a leftover piece of chipboard and find it, and now we're just gonna score this new cardstock to help it bend. And I will do the same for the other side. I'm kind of feeling where is the bending point, and I'm just gonna go with my score tool and just mark like this. Okay, so now all I do is bend the sides just like that. All right, so now to protect my hinge, I always like to put another piece of cardstock here to hold this down. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces of cardstock. So this will be 7 3/4 by 6 1/2. Okay, and so you will need 2 of these. Well, let me show. Okay, so I have my cardstock pieces here. So before I glue this down, I'm going to go ahead and add this ribbon that I have here on my stash for my closures. So I'm just going to be adding some fabric glue here. So now I'm just going to glue this down, and I'm just using my fabric glue for this, but you can definitely use your double-sided tape if you like. Okay, so I'm just gonna place one here, just like that, and then I'll do one on the other side. Okay, so now we have the base of the album, the binding, and I'm going to start doing the page designs. So for the page designs, we're going to use heavyweight cardstock. So we're going to need 2 pieces, 2 different sizes for each page. So the first one, it's going to measure 6 1/4 by 7 3/4, which is going to be the size of our page. And the second one, it's going to be 8 3/4. So I'm going to cut it this way now, by 6 1/4. Okay, so as you can see, we have one larger than the other one by 1 inch, and we are going to score. Whoops, here we go. So the large one, we're going to score at 1/2 inch on each one of the sides along the 8 3/4 side. So you can either score at 1/2 inch and 8 1/4, or you can score at 1/2 inch and then flip this around and do 1/2 inch again, whichever way you prefer. So now I'm gonna fold along these flaps, just like that, and this one as well. And now we're gonna use our double-sided tape again, so right here, and I'm just gonna place it on these flaps. So I'm gonna do 1 and 2. Okay, and once we have the tape down, we're going to go ahead and remove just a little bit of the tape on one of the sides. And now we're gonna grab the other piece, place it right on top. You want to make sure you align it on each one of the corners, and then we're just gonna press down on that sticky side, remove the tape, and then we're just gonna flip this around and take off the double-sided tape. Make sure you hold the center so you don't form a bubble there. And now we're gonna take this tape out. Okay, so now we have our first page ready, and we are going to need 3 more. Okay, so I have my 4 base pages, and now we're gonna come out with some very easy layouts. So I'm going to just use some heavyweight cardstock, and I'm going to trim this at 6 1/2 there by 7 3/4. Okay, and I'm going to do the same to all 3 of these. So then I'm going to score along the 6 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch on one of the sides. And again, I'm going to do the same for all 3 pages. And then I'm going to fold along this 1/2 inch like so. And this is going to be our little flap that is going to connect to the pages. So I'm going to add my double-sided tape, and I'm going to do the same to all 3. Okay, so now I have 3 pieces, and I'm going to put these on the side, and I'm just going to work with all my flaps ahead, and then we're going to build the pages. So it's going to be a little bit different than previous tutorials where I go page by page. So now I'm going to grab the scrap pieces. Now I'll tell you, the scrap pieces measures 8 1/2 by 4 1/2. So I'm just going to cut these at 6 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 of that. Actually, let me go ahead and do 4, because I'm just using my scrap pieces and I do have quite a few. So I'll do 4. So again, 6 1/2. And these all should measure the same because it's what we had left over from the base pages. Okay, so I have 4 of those, and now I'm just going to score 1/2 inch again. Let me move this over there. Along the 6.5 inch side, I'm going to do 1/2 inch for all 4 of these pieces, and then I'm going to again fold along the score line and add my double-sided tape. Okay, so we'll do the same to all of these ones. So now I have 4 of these. So again, I'm gonna put those on the side. I will be adding those to my pages later. Now I'm gonna grab another one of these scrap pieces that I have. This one measures 8.5 by 4 3/4. So I'm gonna score 1/2 inch along the 8.5 inch side, just like that. And then I'm going to score 1/2 inch again on the other side. So we're scoring at 1/2 and at 8. Now I'm gonna fold along both of these sides, and this is going to be kind of like a belly band. So I'm gonna add the tape to both of these, just like that. So we're just doing the preparation ahead of time, and then we'll go back and do our page designs after we have a few options to play with. So this is going to be a belly band, but what if we build a little waterfall into this belly band? So I'm going to grab some cardstock. Now for my waterfalls, I like using the regular weight. So this one, we're using heavy weight. For the waterfall, I'm using the lightweight cardstock, the 65-pound, just because it avoids a lot of that extra bulk we don't need. All right, so now I'm gonna grab 2 at a time, and I'm just going to cut these at 4 1/4, just like that, by 5.5. So now I'm cutting 2 at a time. So I have 2, 4, and I'm gonna do these ones as well, 5.5. Okay, so I have 4, 6, 8. All right, so now each one of these I'm going to score again at 1/2 inch. This time I'm gonna do along the 5.5 inch side. So we have this little piece right here, and I'm just going to build my waterfall right on top of this belly band that we made. Now I'm just gonna use my glue for that. I'm gonna start on the top, okay, or we can start on the bottom. So you can flush these against the bottom like that, and then make sure it's center, because this piece is a little bit smaller than the base. Okay, so we're gonna press that down like so. Now we're gonna grab the next piece, and again we're gonna score at 1/2 inch. So we might as well score a few of these. So here's the next one, and you probably need 6 or so. So here we go. Oops. Okay, so let's start with this ones. Again, I'm gonna fold along that score line, and I'm just going to use my glue to build my waterfall. I like glue because you can move this a little bit just in case it's not straight. So I'm just gonna place this right on top of the first one here, just like that. And then we do the next one. Okay, we'll do the next one, and so on until we get to the top, just like that. Okay, so now I have this little waterfall on top of my belly band, and as a closure I'm gonna use another one of my scrap pieces, and let's see, I probably want this to go all the way up here to the center of the first flap. So I'm just kind of going to eyeball that, and I'll think that's probably gonna be 5 inches. So I'm going to score this at 5, and then I'm going to score at 6. Okay, so now I'm just gonna trim this at 6 inches where we did the second score line, and I'm going to fold along the score line, and I'm just going to open my waterfall. And notice that my flaps, I haven't bent to the back just so I don't touch them. And so I'm gonna open these up, and I'm gonna add my glue here on this 1-inch flap, and I make it 1 inch because I want this to be very secure. And I'm just gonna center this right there, like so. Okay, so now I'm gonna close this down, and then this should be right there when we close it. And of course here we are going to add a magnet to keep this nice and shut. All right, so now we have another. So I'm going to use another one of my scrap pieces, and again this measures 8.5 by 4 3/4. So I'm going to reduce this to 7 1/4, just like that. And I'm going to create a pocket. So I'm going to score 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So I'm going to flip this and do 1/2 inch and do 1/2 inch again on 3 sides. Then I'm going to cut the corners like so. And now I'm just going to fold these along the score lines. 1, 2. So I always try to use all my scrap pieces before I cut into a new sheet of paper. See that? Now I'm down to, I think I'm down to this. So I am always happy when I use all my scraps. So I'm gonna grab one of the base sheets, and I'm just gonna go ahead and add the pocket right to it. So I'm just going to use glue for this step. So I'm going to add glue to my 3 flaps, just like that, and one more here. Okay, and now I'm just going to place this on the bottom. I'm just putting it sideways here so I can see, and I'm just gonna hold this down just like that. You want to hold it down for a little bit until it dries, or you can add some clips to hold it down for you. Okay, so now we have one of the pages with just a simple pocket, just like that. Now we can turn this around and we can start building some of the page designs by using some of these flaps that we already prepared. So for one, I'm going to do one of these large ones. Remember, we did the large ones and the small ones, and then we also have the waterfall. Okay, so on this page, I'm just going to peel some of the tape to the side, just like that, and place this to one of the sides. Very easy and simple layout. Now on the other side, I want to go ahead and add another one of these. So you could prepare like 5 or 6 of those if you want, and just mix and match throughout your page designs. And I love the full sizes because they provide you a lot of room for pictures. See, now we open these up and we have room for picture, 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 picture. It's just endless. Okay, so now we have our first signature, both sides. I'm gonna put that on the side, and I'm going to move on to this next one. Since we already prepare these ones over here, I have 4, so I am going to use 2, and I'm just simply going to add 1 here on the top left. Oops. Make sure it's straight, just like that. Okay, take off that tape, and now I'm going to do the other one, and I'm going to put this one on the bottom right, like this. Again, make sure that it matches the corner and it's straight. Okay, so now we have another simple flap. Now if you want to keep building into this page, which I love to do, we can go ahead and grab the other ones that we prepare and just put one up here. Let me clear off or take off the tape here. Let's see if I can do this again. Okay, and so I'm just going to put these along the top. I always like to hold it on the side that doesn't have the tape, and once I know where I want it, I push this down and just get rid of that tape. Okay, and now of course we are going to add this other one right here. Okay, just like so. Again, okay, so now I have the 2 flaps and these 2 flaps as well, just like that. Now on the back of these, I'm just going to add my other page that we prepare ahead. So I'm just going to go ahead, remove the tape, and add it to one of the sides, just like that. Okay, now I'm just going to take off this tape, and we are done with signature number 2. Now for the next one, I'm going to put my waterfall that we built, and it is a belly band waterfall. So I already went ahead and cut a piece of cardstock of the design paper that will go on the background. But before I add that, I'm actually going to add it here. I'm going to put it inside my belly band, just like this. Make sure that it's center, and I'm just gonna add some glue on these flaps, just like that. So I'm kind of just going to wrap around this before I add this into the page, so that way I know it's really secure. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and add this whole thing into the page. So I'm going to peel off the tape here, and then I'm going to add my glue all around, glue all around here and everywhere. Here in the center. Okay, so now I'm just placing this one down, just like this. And of course here I will add a magnet, and I'll continue to add some of the design paper. So now for the back of this page, since this is already a little bit heavy, I'm not going to do too much, but I'm going to grab a new piece of cardstock. Okay, so this cardstock I'm going to cut at 7 3/4 by 5.5. Okay, so now I have 2 equal pieces like so, and again I'm going to score 1/2 inch. Move that to the side, and I'm just going to do score at 5 and score at 5, or you could score at 1/2 inch. It's the same thing. Okay, so now again I'm going to add my tape. Okay, so now I'm just going to place each one of these on the side of my page here. So I'm going to place one on the left, just like so. Just like that. And then I'm going to place one on the right. Now if you want to make this a little bit more asymmetrical, so it's not so, you know, all the same length, we can go ahead and trim this. So let's try that. So I'm going to trim this actually at, let's see, 6.5, maybe 6. We'll do something small. I'll do 6.25. Okay, so I'm just kind of playing with it so it gives it just a different look. And so I'm just gonna place this one, I'm kind of gonna center it up and down, just like that. Okay, so instead of having two of the same size, we have one smaller than the other one. So it's always fun to switch it up like so. And now we have the last one. So for the last one, I'm going to use 2 envelopes, and I'm going to go ahead and seal the envelopes with my glue. So I'm gonna do 1 and 2, and these are just some random envelopes I have on my stash, and I'll tell you what they measure, but you can definitely use whatever you have. Okay, so mine measured 6.5 by 4 3/4. Now this 6.5, I'm going to trim at 6 inches. Okay, so, and I'm going to do the same for both. 6 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock, and this is just some regular cardstock, and I'm just going to create 2 connecting pieces. So again, I'm gonna cut this at 6 inches by 1 inch. Okay, 6 by 1, and I need 2 of those. And these 2 pieces I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so along the 1 inch, I'm gonna score 1/2, and I'm gonna score 1/2. Okay, so now I'm just gonna fold along the score lines to create my little connection piece. 1 and 2, just like that. And now I want to put this on my page, and let's see, make sure you know where your opening's at. So I think I'm going to do my opening to the right, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue one here on the back of the album. Now this measures 6 inches and the page measures 6 1/4, so make sure that you are center. And then I'm just going to add my glue and this flap again, or you could use tape, but I'm just going to use glue. And now I'm going to put my envelope up there on my connection piece. So now this is a flap that opens up, and it's also a pocket. So I'm gonna do the same here on the bottom. I'm going to first add my connector piece. That's what I'm gonna call it. And I'm gonna put it on the bottom, just like that. And now I'm gonna add my glue, just like that. And again, I do want my opening to be on. Actually, let's switch it up and do the opening on the other side. Why not? Okay, so now I'm just gonna add that right there. Okay. Oops. Okay, so now I have flap that opens up, one that opens down, and this is a pocket on this side and a pocket on this side. Now if you want, so you can remember these are pockets, you can always punch a half circle on both sides, but I'm going to wait until I add my paper to know what I'm doing with that. Okay, so I know this collection has a lot of beautiful tags, so I'm just going to create another pocket here. So I'm going to use this piece left over, and this measures 8.5 by 5 inches. So I am actually gonna reduce that. Let's see. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do this at 4 inches. That should be enough. And I'm just gonna score, and I'm going to create a side pocket, a vertical pocket. Okay, so I'm just gonna do half, flip this over and do half, and then I will do half here. And now I'm just going to do the same thing we did on the previous pockets. I'm just gonna fold along these core lines, just like so, and like that. And now this is ready to go on the left side here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add this, and now this is just a little bit smaller than my page, but that's okay. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead, add my glue, just like that, and just like that. So I think this collection is absolutely beautiful. I myself have 3 daughters, and you know, I think I'm going to use this album and put all kinds of pictures of them, and it's gonna be my Mother's Day present from me to me. I think it's a good idea. All right, so now I have a side pocket on this page and the envelopes on this page, and we are done with our signatures. So now let me bring them all out here, and we are going to add this to the book. Now I will be doing the decorating and all that off camera. I won't show you that, so I don't want this tutorial to be super long, but let's go ahead and add the pages, and let me show you how I do. Now I always like to mix and match what I did, so I don't know exactly which one will go first. I think I like this one to go first. Okay, and so all I do when I add the pages is I peel off just a little bit of the tape, and I put it to the side like that. Then I go to my page and I find the center. Okay, so this already, you know, still needs magnets and all that stuff. Okay, so I have the center here and here. So now I go ahead and I insert this from the bottom, and once I have it where I want it, center up and down, I press on the sticky side and remove my tape. Okay, oops, and my tape broke, but I can always pull it out with my little tool here. So now I take this out, and now I'm gonna flip this over and remove the tape on the other side, just like that. Okay, so we're gonna do the same to all the pages. Okay, so now we have our base pages into our album, and our album is ready to be embellished and decorated with the beautiful paper collection. So I do want to kind of do a little show you how I'm going to decorate the cover a little bit, and then I will do the inside of camera. So first I'm going to use this graphic 45 die. I am absolutely in love with this little frame shape. I know it's part of the clock, but I think I'm going to use it as a frame. So I'm going to pass it through my die cutting machine. Okay, so here's the die piece, the die cut. And then I also cut a circle of, this is from the front cover of the 8x8. So I also ran the die so it fits perfect right there. So now I went ahead and cut two little pieces of cardstock. So this one measures 7.5 by 6. So, and this opens up like that. So this actually measures 7.5 by 12. Mine is two pieces connected together, and this is going to go here. And then I'm going to layer this piece of cardstock that's got slightly smaller than that, and then I want to layer a second piece. Now this one measures let me see here, so this one measures 7 by 11, so this is scored at half, and now this piece is going to go right on top of that, like so. So I'm going to first go ahead and glue this down. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna glue the first one down like that, and then I'm going to put the second one right on top. So I just wanted to create a couple extra flaps here on the front cover just to make it a little bit more interesting. And so I'm gonna do this second one right on top like so. And then I cut another piece, which is this one. I love this one over here, this design that says Little Woman, and I went ahead and I inked around the sides as well, and the back it's so pretty, but I'm just gonna use it like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna place this right on top here. Now to keep this down and close, I'm going to place a magnet on this side. So I'm gonna use one round magnet, and I'm gonna just put my double-sided tape here, and then of course I'm gonna cover this with paper, and then I'm gonna open this up and place my other magnet on the second flap on this side, but I'm going to put the sticky side up. So I'm just gonna place it, oops, right here again. Okay, and I am gonna add just a little bit of glue, and now I'm gonna close this, and when I open this up, we have a magnet on this side as well. Now I'm using thick magnets and they're really strong, so if you have a smaller magnets, you probably need to add in these two sides and these two sides as well, but that's how mine looks like. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my beautiful die piece right here. I love how delicate it is and it cuts so easily, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of glue around and in some little areas just like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna go ahead and I want to place this right below the book that says Little Woman, right there. I don't want to cover that up. Okay, so and it's also kind of in the center. And now I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down. And this is from the outside cover, so I always try to use every bit of the paper. I love it. Okay, so now I'm gonna place this down here, just like so. Oh, it's so pretty. Love it, love it. Okay, so now this whole thing is going to go in my front cover, like so. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my glue. Lots of glue here. You can also use your tape if you like. And I'm just gonna center this the best I can, just like so. Perfect. So fun. So I love the look of the layer paper. You know, it looks like you have layers of the different design, but then also you can open it up and use this to add more pictures or maybe a special note inside the cover. So of course I'll be covering that up. And now the last thing I want to do is embellish just a little bit more here on the front cover. So I'll be using some of the Graphic 45 ivory flowers and leaves. So I'm just going to create a little collage here on the side. Also, I'm going to be using some other flowers from my stash to add a little bit of color. So I'm going to be just doing something like this. Now, let me put something under here. So just keep these nice and flat. So yeah, so I'm just going to play around with my flowers, see what looks better. Now I don't want to make this too puffy because I want to make sure that when we open the book and the pages, everything works nicely. I love this butterfly I just found on my stash. I love the blue color. So yeah, so I'm just gonna place these flowers down. Okay, and then I'm just going to add the title, and this was a little piece from the 8x8. I just fuzzy cut it out from this page. So yeah, so this one, it's gonna go right here as the title. I just love it. I love this paper collection. It's just so beautiful. It's just I love it. So yeah, so I hope that you guys enjoy this tutorial. I hope that you give it a try. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.